Hello, this is part two. I was starting this and my connection, I guess, got messed up when a phone call kept coming through. So we will try this again. So if you're just catching on, there is a part one where I do the intro, dive into the first thing, and we're talking about how to make 10K a month on a budget. So I'm going over 4 marketing strategies that you need to have. So I just went over the first one, which is a sales process to nurture them. So if you missed it, there's another piece of that, and we'll just kind of break this into 2. If you're jumping on again, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming back. We're going to dive into the second piece, which is really creating messaging that speaks to your potential clients' burning desires. And I know this sounds so simple, but what I see so often people want to do, my clients, myself, my free call people, what people want to do is just sell them on, okay, well, I do this for you every month, or, it includes this many meetings, or I do this many hours for you every month, and it includes a meeting, or, you get 5 30-minute sessions, or you get this course and some one-to-one support. We always want to sell like the thing because that's just what our brain loves to do, because it's like we've spent all this time creating it, and so we think that that's the piece we need to sell. But what we really need to speak to and sell is the result, is the potential for your client, is the result that they want, and like speaking to their burning desire. So really just ask yourself, like write it down right now, like if I am going to speak to my clients' burning desires, what is that? What do they really want and why? Even like backtracking, like, okay, so they really want to make more money. Okay, but why? So that they can feel secure and feel like they have a business that supports them. Okay, why? Because, and just keep going back to really get to like that thing under the thing, because that is what's going to sell, and that's what you want to put in your content. One of my clients, we were talking about doing personal outreach. So she was reaching out to people that would be good referral partners. And we were talking about like, okay, what are you going to say? What are you going to promote? And she's like, okay, well, I think I'll, talk about how people can contact us now. And we have this new email address. And if they, their clients need to pay their bills, we can do it easily through this platform. And I'm like, no, let's go to like how it's going to support the shit out of their clients. Because the reason that they would refer someone to you is because it helps their client and helps them, it sounds bad to say, but it helps them look good. So if they can help their client by referring, my client to them, then like, of course they're going to do it. So like, let's speak to like what's in it for them and what's in it for their client. So we're speaking to like the money that they can save, the hassle that they can save, the headaches. They invested in really expensive equipment, and my client's going to help keep that up, and like the longevity of that. And let's give them some stats around like what it looks like for your services to come in every month and do this. Like, let's speak to all of that and get really clear on that, and not just point them to like, hey, we've got this new email, that kind of stuff. Like, we'll have links. So I told her, let's get some links and we'll UTM those so we know if people are clicking on them and bring them back to your website, like 100% for sure. But we really want to speak to what's in it for them. Why would someone refer someone to you? So that is the part about creating your messaging and speaking to your potential clients' burning desires. And so I have a note here. Let me just read it real quick. And another piece, and this is a client I worked with before, he was really afraid to speak to what's possible and show his services because he was afraid people wouldn't hire him. But my call to him was like, everything is already online. Like, I can Google anything. I can, do YouTube. I can look up ChatGPT. Like, the information is out there. And so that is something that's just like, they're not hiring him for the information. So don't be afraid to like give away information and speak to like, here's what I did with people, here's what's possible. It's not like they're going to read that and be like, oh, you did it for them and here's how you did it, so I'm going to read that and, never going to hire you. And, maybe that does happen a small percentage of the time, but they're probably going to get there and be like, damn, I need some support doing this. Like, okay, the information is there, but like, getting support is the thing. So really thinking about your messaging, speaking to their burning desires, how you can help them, how you've helped other clients, like really speaking to that. So that is my second strategy for 10K on a budget. Oh, my thing went off. Number 3, create a consistent process for visibility. Y'all know this is like the hill I'll die on. This is why I have my 10K content strategy audit calls. I was just promoting those. If you didn't see the first half, I've got some open space this week. So DM me. I would love to get you in. It's just a little lighter right now with client calls, like they're all next week. So this is just a lighter week. So it's fun to open some spots. But this is why I have my 10K content strategy calls for my clients in cash, because this is such a huge piece. Even if you get a lot of referrals, which is great because so many of my clients do, but they want to look you up. I mean, maybe they'll get the referral and maybe they'll just call you right off the bat, but they're probably going to like Google you and either go to your Google page, your website, your Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform they're on, they want to find you there. And it gives them safety if you're there. Like if I look up a business and they don't have anything on Facebook or Instagram, I'm like, I don't understand. Are you a real business? You know, like it just, like I need something and something relevant, because otherwise I'm like, did they go out of business? Like, so to me that means something. So just think about like, how are you getting consistent? So the first thing I do when I talk to people is say to just pick a platform. Like you don't have to be on all the platforms, just pick something and go in on that. And then pick a schedule. So it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to provide 5 value posts a week and 2 sales posts. Like that's what I do. But we have a very huge content bank. I have a social media manager. Like I have support for this. So if that's not you, then just think about like maybe 2 value posts a week and 1 sales post. Like whatever that schedule is and feels good to you and works for you, like go all in on that. And so like I've done this multiple times with clients where we literally just get a spreadsheet out. Like it can be so freaking simple. It's like, okay, these 3 days I'm going to post and 1 of them is going to be sales and 2 are going to be value. And then we talk about like, okay, usually from there we can throw in an easy testimonial post or something like that where it's like, okay, technically it's another post, but they don't really have to do anything for it. So we're just getting really clear on like how often they're showing up, when and where, and then just like do it for months. And that is the bitch that no one wants to hear and no one wants to do is like, hey, I have to do this thing for months with like little to no, results from it. So that can be so frustrating. I'm just going to check Facebook real quick over here because I want to make sure my other video didn't delete so that there is the first part somewhere. There's me now. Okay, we're good. So that is the third thing. Create a consistent process for visibility. Feel free, grab a call, DM me. We can get to work on this ASAP because it does take time. Content is one of those things that you can build a huge content bank, you can build a well-oiled machine, and it just does take like the momentum and the reach and all that to really like see the results. So the sooner you start, the better. Let's just keep it simple. So that's my third one. And then the fourth is use your data to know what's working and then do more of that. Y'all, this is something that is like my, like, it drives me nuts when I see someone selling their strategy because we really need to do our, all strategies work if you work it, but like we need to know, for our business, for our personality, for our audience, for our timeline, like how long have we been doing this? Like so many things play into that. So we need to be using our own data to see what's working. So you need to give a strategy at least 60 to 90 days. Everybody knows that, but 60 to 90 days feels really long when you're in it and not getting results. So this is when it's not like, okay, just follow your strategy blindly for that amount of time. Let's go look. Like we're looking at QuickBooks Online. We're looking at Google Analytics 4. We're seeing like literally where are people coming from? What are they clicking on? Like where is the drop off point so that we can get some really juicy data to use in our business. So let's see. Yeah. Not following something blindly for months, but we're using our own data. I have like inside, what was I going to say? Not insides. But I've got like so much information at my fingertips because I look at my own data. I can see which posts perform better. I can see, just the platforms that are performing better and like which stories perform better. Like all these amazing, juicy things that like so many people are just like, yeah, but somebody else tell me what to do. Somebody else tell me, what's the best strategy or what's the best platform. And it's like everything works, but like you finding what works and then seeing like, okay, this is working. Let's do more of that. Okay, cool. That one's not getting as much traction as we thought. Interesting. Like, let's see if we tweak it this way. Like, really just using that as just information, not making yourself wrong, but doing what's working and, doing more of that. Let's see, because it's really like helpful in the short term to make some tweaks and changes. And then in the long term, when we're making these big CEO decisions, that gives us a bigger picture. So again, in the short term, we are like tweaking messaging or tweaking where we're putting things or which days we're posting. And then in the long term, it's like, okay, generally, how is this working? Like, how does it affect how we use our time? How does it affect how we use our team's time? Like answering those bigger CEO questions with, using your own data. So anything, oh yeah, I have client examples. So during summer, I have clients who are very busy. This is their gangbusters, super busy time. And then I have some clients, this is like their slowest time of the year. So with both of those clients, we are still trying to get them fully booked. Like, it doesn't matter how much capacity they have. One of them is kind of like, this isn't our busy season, but like whatever we have that we offer, we want to fill it up. And then the other one is like, this is our busy season, so we need to fill all of this up. So for both of those, we were using data to get super specific to see which links were working, because we were trying to get them full. So we were promoting for both of them that they're full, and neither of them are low ticket items. Like, these are not $20 lipstick, things. Like, these are high ticket, high dollar time investment, all that. So for both of them, even though it was different seasons of their business, we could still look and be like super intentional about getting them full, and then seeing like, okay, cool, we know that these Instagram links worked really well, and then these, Facebook ones didn't work as well, or like seeing like, okay, let's do more of this. So for both of them, it was just like super targeted, super strategic, and then use that data to see like, okay, cool, now that we're getting to the end of the season, how did it play out? What do we need to change next year when we're in the same position? Like, all of that. So those are just things that like no one else can support them with that, because no one else is looking at the data for that. There's not a thing online they can buy that would tell them how to, what to do. Like, there's no template out there. There's no like freebie download. There's no like post that someone's written that tells them exactly what to do. Like, this is literally like, we're doing a science project right now, and this is so fun and interesting, and it's going to give us so much stuff, so we know next month and next busy or slow season, like what to do, how it works, and what we can expect. So that is just so important to say. And so these are 4 things that I support all of my clients with. So we'll go back through a sales process to nurture them, creating messaging that speaks to their burning desires, creating consistent process for visibility, and using your data to know what's working and doing more of that. None of these things are a template. That's the thing. It's like, this isn't a template. It's not a strategy in the box. These are 4 foundational pieces that every multi-6, multi-7-figure business has. And so many things that you see out there, courses, programs, templates, like, they give you things that worked for people before, and now they're selling it to you. They're like, oh, this helped me build my email list, or this helped me, make 6 figures or 7 figures or get fully booked. Like, you're buying all these things that someone used to, support them in their business and worked. And that worked for them like months or years ago. But right now, like, the economy's changing, the algorithm's changing, the market is changing. It's a buyer's market. Like, all these things that you hear are so true. So if you're buying courses on something that worked for someone months and years ago, like, you're just behind the 8 ball. Like, I don't even know if the 8 ball is the right word. You're just, behind the curve. Like, that's not relevant right now. And that's what I work with my clients one-to-one with, is because like the stuff we're doing right now is relevant. Like, we are using stuff right now. And so that is the thing. And that is why I think one-to-one support is just so important, is because like, we are literally in it with you in the weeds. Like, I'm not selling you something that worked for me 5 years ago. Like, that is bullshit. And anyone selling you anything, they should be ashamed of themselves, because something that worked 5 years ago might not work right now. Like, we have ChatGPT, we have a million other things. And yes, there are foundational pieces of business that are tried and true and that do work. Building relationships, that's basically it. But like, if you're buying a course on building relationships, I feel like you got bigger problems, like, we know how to build relationships. It's just a matter of like doing it that works for you, for your audience, in this time and space, in the universe right now, with the economy and everything else. So please really think about that. Let's see, what else are my notes? I kind of went on a tangent. But yeah, it's like, we're using their data to drive decisions now. And so it's just like so crazy to me to think that like people are buying things that are just outdated and that aren't relevant now. And so I had asked in a poll of like people who like what people have bought, what people have done. And we'll talk more about this next week in a different context, but just seeing that, like, what was the stat? It was like 80 something percent of people had like bought 4 or more programs. And that's just wild to me. You know, I mean, obviously people are buying programs, and like so much of that is like, we don't know, like, when did they make it? Like, how long ago was that they used it in their business and that it worked? Like, these are the kind of things that I hope people, when they are buying courses, are looking into, because it just changes all the time, y'all. And like, you may be in the same industry, but like their audience might be slightly different than your audience. You know, I'm always talking with my clients about creating the blue ocean. Like, it's a great book. If you're in Charleston, it's at the Charleston Library. You can read it for free. But we aren't trying to beat the competition by trying to be the competition. We are literally creating our own blue ocean. And so using your own data and what works for you is how you're able to do that. Like, you can't create your own blue ocean using someone else's template or someone else's strategy. Like, that's total junk. And this is like where I get on my soapbox, and it drives me nuts, because these strategy in a boxes and these done for you things are just wasting your time and money. It's just slowing you down. And so this one-to-one work is all that I offer. And the reason is because it's what I see get results. Like, I have never had anyone come to me who did a course, who did something, and it blew up their business. Like, it gave them information and trained them on certain things and probably saved them some time to learn a platform or something like that. But like, it is not the thing that is helping them pay themselves $10K a month. Like, it's just not, you know, and we want it to be so bad. Like, if I could just hire that person or buy that course or get that template, like, everything would be solved and my problems would be taken care of and I'd make great money. And like, they have such glitzy promises, but that's not the thing that gets you epic results. Like, epic results come from knowing your business, knowing your people like the back of your hand, knowing how people respond to you and which posts they respond to best and which way they move through your sales process and how long it takes them to move through your sales process and how you can cultivate that even more. Like, all of this is stuff that is knowable, but it is not like given to you by someone else. And then also, what was I going to say on that point? Oh, I had another thought about doing your research, courses. I don't know, it lost me. Anyway, maybe it'll come back later. But let me see. Yeah. So this is what I do. Offer only one-to-one. I have clients who are in like different industries. Like, I barely have any clients that overlap or are the same. We have clients who are brand new. You know, one of them just hired me, and like, she doesn't even have an offer she's selling yet. She didn't even have a website yet. And then we have clients who are multi-7 figures, who've been in business 10, 14 years. So we really support people across the board. And I love having that background, because I love supporting clients and pulling information and pulling things from what's worked with other clients. So it's like, okay, we tried this with another client, so let's try it in your business. Like, and not to say like, oh, we're trying to, you know, put something on someone else's business that doesn't fit. Like, that is not it. It's just like, they kind of get to save some time, because I know that like, I've already done this and it works. So let's see how it works in your business, or how can we apply this same thing to your business. So, all my clients benefit from me having all the behind the scenes in multiple different businesses and multiple industries because of that. So I'm super excited. I am offering 3 one-to-one spots in September. It's actually 2 because someone put down a deposit. I keep forgetting to say that, but it's 2. So 1 is already taken. So we have the bookkeeping in-house. That is super important to me, that your numbers are right and correct, and you can make good CEO decisions using accurate data. So that is something people can add on ad hoc when they come into me and do coaching with me, because we want to have them supported like that. Because no other coaches that I know of are offering, you know, mindset, strategy, organize, implement in this way. Like, they can help you with mindset, they can help you with strategy, but they literally can't help you with the back end of your business, making sure it's set up, making sure that it's correct. Let's use the data from that. And then on the other hand, you've got these advisors who will look at you, you know, in your spreadsheets all day, or look at your numbers, but they're not going to, you know, give a shit how, you know, your mindset is and what kind of mindset practice you're doing and the stories you're telling yourself and the words that you're using. Like, I like beautifully meld these things together in a way that most people don't and just can't. I'm like a weird, you know, combination of like woo and numbers, like, it's just kind of these things that don't typically go together. So like super excited to, offer that and let people know about these spots. These are, we're really diving in. We start with a strategic planning session. So that's like an hour and a half long, and it really sets us up for our work together. They have me, I'm basically in their back pocket all the time. Like, we have a few sessions a month, and then all the support in between for mindset, strategy, reviewing their sales process, reviewing posts, reviewing anything, any sticky situation that come up with their clients or their potential clients, anything like that, looking at their profitability. Like, there's so much juiciness that we do in this container, and it's 6 months and then the option to renew. Most of my clients have worked with me for years. Pretty much like 90% of people renew at least one time, and then some clients like just keep renewing, which is amazing. And we've built amazing relationships. But I just see this like strategic planning session to be so critical, because so many business owners don't do that, or they just jump into something, or they're kind of just piecemealing courses together, or this one-to-one support from this person and this from this person. And I'm not saying like only get support and information from one person. I am saying make sure everything is aligned. Make sure that it is for you, it meshes with your business, it meshes with your long-term strategic plan, because I think there is so much great information out there, but it might not be great for you and your business. So really taking the time to get aligned with that and find someone who is a good fit. I always hold a best fit call. I always want to make sure it's the right fit for them, right for me, because I am discerning for fit as much as they are, because that is super important to me. I love building long-term relationships, and part of that is because I'm discerning for fit too. So I really have to say, one-to-one support is like nothing else out there. It is the best bang for your buck. Like, it's just, I wish I had a quote. Let's see, I wrote it down from someone else. She said she's trying to find her way and trying not to recreate what others are doing, and it might take longer overall, but it's better for her business long term. And I thought that was such a beautiful quote, because we all want the quick fix, and the online space teaches us to get the quick fix. But from this one-to-one support, my clients do get quick results, like they really do, and it might take longer to build this really well-oiled machine that gets you 10K a month on repeat. Like, that's just kind of like the duality of business, is you can have fast results, and sometimes it takes these longer relationships that you don't find in a course, that you don't find in a program, everything like that. So let's see. Yeah, and even just with the cost, like I know what some of these masterminds cost. I've been in one myself. I know what courses cost. I've been in one myself. And now I do one-to-one myself. I get support one-to-one, and it has been the best freaking money I've spent. Like, the courses were great. They gave me information, but the level of support was not there. Like, I showed up, I got my money's worth, because that's what kind of person I am. But like the transformation just wasn't there, because that's not how they're set up. And so I really, always like to speak to, like, my clients are all unique. Even if they are similar industries, they're still so different. They're different humans. They support different humans. It is so different. And so I might, speak to one client and we'll talk about doing this, whereas another client, it might be totally different. And so that one-to-one support is just like nothing you can get in a course, in a download, in a template, in a freebie, none of that. So, I really am so hesitant when people are just, they go for the strategy in the box or the done for you service of marketing, and they think that it's going to like blow up their business, and then they're just so frustrated on the back end when it doesn't. And it's like, yeah, that's not really what that container is for. Like, it can be a piece, and paying for marketing can be a piece of your strategy, but like, if you think that's the end all be all to everything, you're going to be so freaking disappointed. So, I say all my clients are unicorns, and there's no other business out there. And so really finding out what works for them and their people, that is my job. Getting to know my clients is my job. Courses don't do that. Programs don't do that. Nothing does that like one-to-one support. So this is my call to you. We went over the 4 strategies for building a 10K business: sales process to nurture them, creating messaging that speaks to their burning desires, create consistent process for visibility, and using your data to know what works and do more of it. And that is something I would love to support you with one-to-one. And again, we have some spots opening up in September. I would love to, offer those to you. If you're feeling the nudge, please reach out, book a best fit call. We have been full for a little while now, and we pretty much stay full. I know how to book clients. I know how this works. So if you're feeling the nudge, go ahead and think about reaching out and getting, on a call to talk about it. And if not, if you're just like, I just want some free support, like book a free call. That's what these 10K content strategy audits are for. We will talk about your sales process. We will talk about your messaging. We will talk about your consistency. Like all of that is for free. So, grab a spot, reach out this week if you have some time, or just go ahead and get booked for later this month. But I'll drop the link in this, the comments in this live stream, and I can't wait to see you there. As always, thank you so much for joining and catching the replay. Can't wait to see y'all next week. So we have some really great ideas. I've got tons of ideas since I've come back from the mountains, and I'm just really feeling fired up about it and inspired. So I can't wait to share all of that with you. But I'll catch you later. Bye.